No, but that is, yeah, and then we came to Germany, and guess what? The Germans didn't want refugees. We were the same language, we were practically once the same country, and there was no love lost. So then the government had to do something, and they said, okay, each one who has a house has to put up one family. So they were forced to take you then.
Wow.
And they were mean. Many were so mean. Because they took their jobs as well. You know how it is.
Yep.
But they didn't get any favors. They did not get any favors. They had a tough time. Really tough. The Germans, they are worse than the Australians. They're tough. They are not sharing. And it's mine. I did that with my own hands, and that is mine. And even the pastors in the churches, they wouldn't take any refugees. Can you believe it? The ones who preach the godness of everything.
So where did you go?
We were allotted also to a farmer, yeah, in the sticks, and
Was he nice to you?
my father found a job in a mine again close by, and I was by then 13, 14.
So why did you move away from your aunt? And so
The aunt,
so how did that all
Was
happen?
this
How
place-
did you all move out of that house and into somewhere else?
we moved overnight away, right?
Yep, to the other side of the river.
My aunt
So
and
before
the
you went to the
grandmother?
other side of the river, were you still living with the grandmother and stuff?
Yes, yes. And they didn't even know nothing of us. We couldn't do anything. We were
Couldn't tell them,
displaced
yeah.
for 3 years before we found each other again. But they just went in normal life with their suitcase and had nothing. So they were allotted to a farmer in the same village where we were allotted. So we found each other again. But I was in an age I was 13 or 14 something. My father said, if you don't want to starve, you better work for that farmer. And for $20 a month, gee, they used us too, you know, they really, I worked there. Milking 6 cows in the morning, right away, then going and working.
Did you go to school at this time?
Once a month there was a like TAF sort of something, or that was like a holiday, you know. You could sit there and da. But
Is that where you did your art?
Hmm?
Is that where you did your art at that
Yeah.
time? So you weren't
Yeah.
going to school?
eh?
You weren't going to school? Can you get them to stop doing that?
No. Then I worked for that farmer.
So you weren't going to school? There was no
No.
schools?
No, I
It's just
had
that
to.
college that she went
the-
to.
You know, I was
Wow.
really a rough child then.
So how did you go to school during the war and all that time? Like was
Yeah,
this?
of course.
School
In
was
a normal
happening.
primary school. Nothing.
So afterwards, when you're in this farmer, you're not going to school. You're just working for him, and then you go to this
Yes.
TAFE.
And in that once a month, I made doodles and stuff. I wasn't interested in farming anyway.
Yep.
So I made little faces or something. And there was one teacher, he saw it and he was impressed somehow. And he made sure, he told other people above him, oh, look at her stuff, she is really, we have to do something about helping her out and things. So
Yeah.
they organized an apprenticeship they said, okay, we can get you to a school where you can design, like fashion design,
Yeah.
or you can learn to do China painting. And so I said, okay, I would like to go China painting. And I got that handed to me practically, but I had no money, but I got a little scholarship then. And then I went to a little town and learned China paint.
And then how did you get from there to doing fashion stuff?
And that was either fashion stuff or China paint.
Yeah. So you did the China
But when
painting.
that was finished, 3 years apprenticeship, and the teacher was that lovely guy who died.
Yeah.
I had to, they promoted me to go to Dresden to the art academy, but I had to have grammar, or what's it called? A high school certificate or something more than that. Like to come into that
Like
Yeah.
a college degree or something.
college,
Like
yeah, college. And that was fine, yeah, and art college practically, both of them. And that took 3 years, and then I went to the real art academy. That was so long. By then I was a professional student, you know. I loved it. It was great. Very little money, but it was great. Great time, yeah.
So when did you
and
do to start doing the advertising agency stuff?
that came
When
much
was that?
later.
How did
Oh,
you get
no,
from there to Berlin?
then
Didn't you
on-
leave your father in Berlin?
No,
How did
from
that
then.
happen?
Oh, that is all too long. It's all too far.
No, I
too
want to
much.
know that. What's the
Anyway,
I want to
after-
know the chronology of events. So you cross the river.
Okay.
You're living at the farm. You're doing
No,
the
no,
TAFE.
no. I crossed the river, made it to my grandmother.
Oh, yes,
who
the
lived
grandmother.
close to Berlin. That
Then-
was only a
Stopgap.
stopgap.
Did she kick you out?
Stopgap. Who?
Did she kick you out? Like, why did you leave
No,
her
my
to go to the
father
farm?
was
Oh,
by
he
then
had
so
enough.
estranged.
He didn't want to be
because
there
he
with
could
her.
see what's going on, and she regretted it deeply. Then we just wouldn't ever want to cheer up to her.
Yeah.
From there, we went to this farm in a total different area. I cannot explain that. That is Berlin is on the north, and where I went to, that was Middle Germany. It was total different people and whatever things like. Yeah. Have you got enough now?
No, I want to know how you went from there to.
Well, from
Doing
that
the TAFE.
farm, I practically came then up in my life. It went better and better. But after so many years, last time I was in Germany, my best friend, which is ringing every Sunday, she says, why don't we go and look at your farm where you were? Because there was the son of that farm, was a real nasty piece of work. He used to follow me in the barn and try to do stupid things, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you could call it
Yeah.
all sorts. And that really stung me all the time. I thought, that bastard. I would have never dared to tell anyone what he
Yeah.
wanted to do and things. And she said, why don't we go and look him up, look at the farm up. And we drove there, and it was all like nothing happening. That's 50 years, more.
Please
Oh,
don't
more,
move the chair.
60 years. Nothing happened there. But who stands out on his property and looks around? That son, who is by now an old man, you know. And you know what? He looked at me and says, my old name, Traudel. Ja, was bin ich? Und do you remember what you did to me then and then in front of my girlfriend? And he got red as a beetroot and said, oh, that's long ago. That wasn't meant to be so bad, you know. He says,
Wow.
but I looked him up and down and
Wow.
wished him luck. I had my say. But after all this time, you know, he didn't know it was wrong, you know. Yeah.
Wow. So how did you get from there to?
Oh God, I hope you.
No, how did you get to then leaving your father to go to Berlin? What was that whole art thing and the advertising?
No.
What?
When I went to this porcelain China painting thing, that's when I left the village altogether. My father lived in that room, one bedroom, and a little. We lived in that farm very primitively. And that farmer was so mean, you know, he fed all the leftovers to the pigs. And up there, my brother and my father had hardly anything to eat. And I was really, really, really upset about it. So once I pinched some apples and put them, somehow smuggled them up, and that was in the upper floor. And one must have fallen, one fell down, and the woman heard something. And
Women always very clever.
she went up and found those apples and made a big fuss. And I thought, That is so just. How can you let a little kid of 4 years or 5 years look at when they have so much food and milk? And milk. We didn't even have milk. Yeah, so
you milked the cows, but they wouldn't let you have a sip of it.
that's right. That's right. Not even a potato. Nothing. And every fourth Sunday was free. Afternoon free. But,
Well, so every single day you're working the whole month.
yes. Totally.
And so you left there to do your China painting. And where were you
And-
living
and
then?
No, and then people asked me, I had a sort of an interest. A boy had an interest in me. He said, "And what will you do?" So, I'm not staying here. No, I'm going. I go somewhere and I do something else. I would never want to be there. And I didn't know what I will do, but this was my goal. That's really when you want to, you can do it. That's what it was. And coming back, and there is a friend of mine who's still in the same house, has never been anywhere, and I think she's 80 and she hasn't even been anywhere.
But how did you get from there to the advertising office to a Berlin art school?
Oh, okay.
How does that work?
Oh God, that's much later.
Oh, is it?
Later.
So what
Yeah.
happens in those years? So how old are you now during the
Look, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Then, okay, let's go further.
Thank you.
After that art academy in Dresden, Dresden would not have me because I was, you could imagine a competition in that art academy. One of them is now the best painter in Germany, that's the
Wow.
Picasso of Germany. So I was just not good enough, I think. They gave me a job in advertisement, fabric design, things like art, designer art, not art.
The graphic art.
Graphic art, sort of, yeah. And that I did in East Berlin. That was in East Berlin.
Is
I
that
came
where
back
you met
to
the man
East
with the moped to go to Italy?